Success? Oh, hi. Glad you're here. I'm glad to be with you. So I finally decided to get the cheapest of the three new Indiana Jonas sets. Indiana Jones sets. Use take two. I decided to get the cheapest of the three, even though we were supposed to get four, but no one will ever let a Temple of Doom set release because I just assume it's because of the, yeah, anyway. Now, I had no reason to get any of the sets, even though the diorama is really cool, but they use stickers, which is insulting. But this, they know what they're doing over there at Lego, and they go, oh, well, all those people who've been collecting Lego for 25 freaking years, let's throw in one little snippet that they'll be like, as completionists, because Lego fans are nerds, then they'll have to get it for that one little thing. And then, I keep getting convinced, go on Bricklink and get that. But anyway, I can afford a Lego set every once in a while, so I decided to get this one. And it's cool. I like it. It's a good time. I have gripes. It was an okay build, but the main thing I noticed with the builds is that I've built many, many, many Lego cars and many, many Lego planes. So I've seen the evolution of their builds throughout the years. But this particular build I noticed to be very much more intricate, very much more detailed, more complicated, if you will. And I'm like, you could have made this car build very simple, and you could have made this plane build very simple. But as I'm building it, I come to terms with the fact, well, the more complicated and intricate you make these builds, the more details you get in these vehicles. And honestly, the details on these vehicles are extraordinary. You've got this wonderful, wonderful plane here. And, the wings come off, to demonstrate the scene where he crashes through the tunnel. I can't remember in the movie, but, was there a reason why he had to crash in that tunnel? Like, if I was in a plane and I saw a tunnel, I would not go in the tunnel, knowing that my plane wouldn't fit. Maybe it's another thing. Anyway, so you got that. So the build itself wasn't extremely enjoyable. It wasn't really annoying or anything, but it was just far more detailed than I'm used to for such a small plane or such a small car. Although technically we now have a Nazi plane. And technically we have a Nazi pilot. So you got this guy here, he's pretty cool. Now this is pod racing. Anyway, no, it reminds me of that first pod racer Anakin from my very first Star Wars set back in '99. So that's cool and all. You get the little deal here. Now, don't get me started about these stickers, because I will get started about that here in a moment. That's one of the gripes I have about this set. Not the sticker specifically, but anyway. So, plane's cool. Yeah, great set. Good time. You get your little Berlin sign, this way to Hitler. That's interesting. And then, of course, you got the car is fantastic. I think, overall, this car looks amazing. Absolutely astounding. Building it, not the most memorable or enjoyable thing in the world, but absolutely astounding. Now, and it was also funny in building this in the instructions. See, I remember putting together Indiana, and in my mind, I'm like, well, he needs his gun. Indy needs his gun. He comes with a gun, absolutely. But you know how when you're building a minifig in the instructions, they tell you, okay, now put their accessory in their hand. They do not say in the instructions to put the gun in his hand. They only say put a gun in there when you get to that part. So I thought that was interesting to be like, no, don't give him a gun though. Guns are bad because we don't make realistic guns. Right, because Lego doesn't make realistic guns. Anywho, so this is the new Indiana Jones, where he's got the dual mold with the hair and the hat, and I like it. And he does have his little holster here. And of course, he's got his whip. So this is cool, you can compare the two. Here is the original Indiana Jones from many, many years ago. So, no back printing. Pretty much the same. Well, no, his belt is different. Got a new belt here. Now this guy, maybe it's the set he came with specifically, but I do like that he's got a tie. Obviously he did in that scene, so that's why, but I do like that. It's a nice touch, Indiana Jones wearing a tie. But overall, I mean, this captures Indiana, and this captures him as well, I think. Maybe even a little bit more with his facial expression here, but they're good. This is old. This is new. So, in comparison, they have changed it, if not improved. That's up to you. Now, of course, the key being, with no hair, one face. But when you add the dual molded hat with the hair, you can have two faces. Because, again, it's not the age, it's the mileage. Trust me, I know. Okay, so that's Indy. And now you've got the reason why I bought this set, which is unfortunate. Luckily, it came with an extra one. I was very, very happy about that, so I can keep one aside, but then also keep one, displayed in the set. We've got Sean Connery here as Indy's father. Now, the original Sean Connery as Indy's father was this one. And I always loved this minifigure. Absolutely love this minifigure. They not only capture Sean Connery, but the diary was in his pocket. Because I was always like, man, I wish the diary came with this set. But it did, technically, by being in his pocket. So they acknowledged the diary on the print of Dr. Jones Sr., okay? Now, the new one, honestly, first thing I'm noticing is that his glasses and facial printing is way more predominant. This guy's glasses, not so much. You can barely see them. His facial hair is more consistent, but this one's definitely stands out more. This is the first time I'm looking at these side by side, and honestly, I think I prefer the old one. I think I prefer the old one on this one. But he came with this little piece of the diary. If that was a sticker or if it was just a plain brown piece to represent the diary, I would never have gotten this set. But because it's got the simplest of printing to make it technically a piece to represent the diary, couldn't help myself. Luckily, the teeniest, tiniest little cheapest thing that I needed to get a set for came in the teeniest, tiniest little cheapest set. So now, here's my confusion. As I said, I've built many cars and planes that Lego made, especially as a kid, especially the ones they've made throughout the years. And they can be very simple builds. These were very complex builds that I, turning 40 next week, barely enjoyed. Okay? The end result, absolutely. The end result makes a very fantastic looking car and a very fantastic looking plane. And then you've got this huge sticker around a round piece here that was one of the most pain in the butt stickers. And not only this piece is loose in the back, so the piece was scratched. And then when you put the sticker on, not only was it one of the most pain in the butt stickers to put on ever, but it's nearly impossible to get this sticker on without at least one or two bubbles. Honestly, this was a perfect placement, if you ask me, for this sticker. But there was no getting around these couple of bubbles. And I just have to live with it. Whatever. So when you take all the stickers into consideration, and the fact that they're kind of complicated builds, why on earth is this an 8+ set? If you're going to market it to an 8-year-old, you need a simpler build, and you need less, or at least not insane, stickers. This should have been printed, absolutely, without a doubt. Or just not included. Find another way. Make it a build. I don't know. But to think, like, my son was a good Lego builder, even before 8, obviously. But I highly doubt he would have enjoyed, at the age of 8, building this set. And I highly doubt he would have been able to put any of these stickers, much less this one, on this set without assistance. So I think it's kind of, this set is kind of contradictory of the Lego rules. You either need to up the age or lower the simplicity of the build and remove stickers. That just, to me, I'm building it being like, I'm in my late 30s going, this is kind of a pain in my butt. How's an 8-year-old supposed to deal with this? That's all. Overall, it's a good set, especially if you don't have one of the original Indiana Jones sets, you know what I mean? You want to finally delve into it? Absolutely. It's worth it. Is it worth the price? Kinda. I mean, Lego's expensive these days. What are you going to do? But it's not very much of enjoyment of build. But overall, it's worth it if you really want it. It's not worth it if it's more of just a whim. But if you're thinking about getting it as a gift for an 8-year-old, they're going to throw this thing out the window before they don't friggin' finish it. That's all I got to say. Anyway. We named the dog Indiana. That's all I could think. Every time I look at him, I build this, every 2 seconds, all I can think is, Junior, 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 Junior. I want another set of that big plane from the first movie. Or the tank chase, where Indy's in the tank. If you're going to do another set from the third movie, give me the tank, where Indy, almost dies on the outside of it. That was a great scene. And then he thinks he died. Anyway, spoiler alert for the third film. My favorite of the Indiana Jones films. So, yeah, it's good to get another set. I hope we get more, but overall, this is, meh. Okie dokie.